the thing out in Nevada. I work for Fish and Wildlife. I'm not saying which office. If this gets removed, then I guess someone was still watching the keywords. Everyone thinks Devil's Hole is guarded because of the pupfish. That is the official answer at least, and it is not entirely wrong. The Devil's Hole pupfish is real. It is rare enough that its entire wild population lives in that one flooded limestone fracture in the Nevada desert. In 1952, President Truman added Devil's Hole to Death Valley National Monument by proclamation. Later, the fences went up, then the nuclear underground tests, then the cameras followed. Motion sensors after that. Every few years, some article comes out about the little blue fish, and everyone laughs about federal agents guarding a puddle. I laughed too before I got assigned there. The first thing they teach you is that the water is deeper than it looks. The second thing they teach you is not to stand close to it after sunset. Nobody writes that part down though. The old files say the Shoshone knew something was wrong with that hole long before we named it. They had stories about the water babies and Dzoavits, a thing that stole children and was trapped underground. Officially, we treat that as folklore. Unofficially, the oldest ranger notes use the same word 3 times in red pencil. Dzoavits. I found those notes in a locked cabinet after the Beatty disappearances started. At first it was livestock. Goats split open near Amargosa. Dogs dragged from yards without barking. Then an old man vanished off his porch in Pahrump about a month ago, leaving one slipper and a wet trail across dry concrete. The sheriff blamed coyotes, then meth, then family problems. Anything but the thing all of us were seeing on the trail cameras. It came out of the water at 2:13 a.m. 2 weeks ago. Not all the way, just enough for a peek. A hand first, pale and too long, gripping the limestone shelf beneath the surface. Then another, then a head, slick and black, with eyes that reflected infrared like an animal's, but held still like a person's. It had hair hanging off it in ropes. It opened its mouth, large like a frog and lined with teeth. The hydrograph spiked like the water itself had panicked. The pupfish scattered before it surfaced, and that was the part that made my supervisor go quiet. He told me the fish were never the reason we guarded Devil's Hole. They were the alarm system. As long as they stayed alive, as long as they bred, as long as they kept circling that shallow shelf, the thing below stayed down. When you look at the underground tests that happened out in the Nevada desert back in the day, you notice something? Years of shaking, years of pressure waves moving through stone and water. The files never say contamination. They say disturbance. They say behavioral changes. They say increased nocturnal emergence. 4 nights ago, we lost radio contact with one of the contractors working security at the perimeter fence, and for 37 seconds our video feed was cut. We found his flashlight still on beside the south catwalk, and there were wet footprints leading away from the platform into the desert. Bare human footprints. They went on for almost half a mile before changing. The toes disappeared first. then the heel into what looked like talons. By the end, the tracks looked less like prints and more like drag marks left by something pulling itself forward. Through the dirt, 3 days ago, one of our cameras caught something new, and I was able to see enough of it before the feds got to the footage. The thing was standing outside the fence. Behind it, the water was perfectly still, and there were no fish visible anywhere. I just wrote this on my lunch break, so I gotta go for now. I'll keep you guys updated on the disappearances and any new sightings as I'm able to.